The ACLU is probably best known for a case we handled back in the 1970s, the so-called Skokie case from Skokie, Illinois, a town with a large Jewish population, many of whom were Holocaust survivors. Yet the ACLU, despite its strong support for equal rights, racial justice, and opposition to any kind of discrimination, including anti-Semitism, nonetheless came to the support of the free speech rights of a group of neo-Nazis who wanted to demonstrate in Skokie provocatively because of the large Jewish and Holocaust survivor population. The ACLU continues to take that very unpopular position, Peter. Let's face it, most people support freedom of speech for me or people like me, but not for thee. And in the Skokie situation, the ACLU easily won that case in the courts of law, including the United States Supreme Court, because it involved what the court has called the bedrock principle of freedom of speech: viewpoint neutrality, content neutrality. Government must remain neutral with respect to the idea, the viewpoint, the message, the content. But that was a very unpopular position in the court of public opinion. The ACLU lost 15% of our members who resigned. Die-hard free speech supporters who said, this goes too far for us. And fast forward to 2017, 50 years later, right? The ACLU does exactly the same thing in Charlottesville. We came to the defense of the Unite the Right white supremacist demonstrators in Charlottesville, Virginia. And again, the court sided with us that they had a free speech right to demonstrate, no matter how loathsome and vile their ideas might be. And yet that's also very unpopular in the courts of public opinion. So we continue to do it. It continues to be an uphill battle to explain to people what I like to think of as the golden rule of free speech, that if you don't defend freedom, even for speech that you loathe, then freedom is not going to exist for speech that you love.
How did your Holocaust surviving father feel about the Skokie case?
Oh, that is such a great question. Let me tell you, Peter, my father came to hear me give a talk in San Diego, where he had retired in the early 1980s, and there had just been a wave of graffiti on synagogues and some racist graffiti as well. And so I was brought out to explain the ACLU's position and why we had won the Skokie case. And my father listened to me very politely, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, well, thank you for that very interesting talk. You've now persuaded me that the ACLU does correctly interpret the First Amendment. Thank you for making it clear to me that the problem is the First Amendment.